Hey, I thought I would talk to y'all for a minute about food sensitivity testing. And what is that good for? And why would anyone even do that, right? And what's the difference between all of them? Because they're not the same. So, food sensitivity testing can be very helpful in eliminating or greatly reducing symptoms that are like all across the board because they're all kind of steeped in inflammation. So these food sensitivity tests, typically, most of them that are out there, will just look at one fraction of the immune system, like IgG response. And sometimes that can be helpful, but it doesn't really give you a good picture of everything that's going on. It gives you like one little sliver of what's going on. And if you use a food sensitivity test that's got a broader scope of what it's evaluating, then you get more information and thus you can be more helpful. So one of the tests that I like to use looks at more than just IgG. It looks at mediators, and mediators are a type of chemical messenger in the body. Prostaglandin, histamine, cytokines, those are all mediators. And they play a role in inflammation. And so knowing how the foods that you eat might initiate the action or the activity of these inflammatory cytokines and other markers can really give you a great bit of information as to which foods you might want to steer clear of and which ones you want to have more of. So I love this because it takes a lot of guesswork out. You know, when you go and talk with a functional practitioner, they'll often say, how about you start with an elimination diet? That's one thing you can do. Or you do one of these IgG tests and you look at one little, fraction. And when I work with folks and I've got the access to this type of information that are the MRT, the mediators involved in that, then I get an opportunity to look at, how all kinds of different foods and chemicals, some of them are man-made, some of them are naturally occurring in the food, how that is initiating an inflammatory response inside that individual and gets the immune system all, hyped up or hyperactive, and there's a lot of inflammation going on, and it can cause symptoms like, migraines, of course, your typical gas, bloating, belching, heartburn, but also any type of inflammatory based, I'm going to say health issue that you might have. It could be autoimmune disorders. It could be arthritis. It could be thyroid dysfunction, right? There's a long list. And achy joints, so much that is involved and that is relatable to excessive internal systemic inflammation. It's different than like acute inflammation. So anyway, I thought I would kind of point out the difference there, that when you do get that type of information, then you can be much more specific because like if we were to use an elimination diet, those are great. It's a great place to start, right? You eliminate the foods that we all consider bad for you, right? You take out all of the refined foods and the sugar and all that stuff, and you replace it with healthy foods, foods in their whole form, your veggies and your fruits and your lean meats and all healthy fats. But once you've done that and you're still experiencing your symptoms, then you get a little frustrated, don't you? I know, and it happens all the time. And so that's when, instead of taking 6 months where you eliminate one food and put it back, and then that can take a long time, and some people are feeling so badly that that's way too long to wait, right? So when we do something like the MRT test, we can get our answers more quickly, and sometimes we find out that the food that needs to be eliminated is something that we would have never thought to eliminate if we were doing an elimination diet. Sometimes it's broccoli. Who would even think? Or it's a fruit, right? And so that's what can make this process more expedited and we can start getting someone feeling healthy and reducing their discomfort greatly in, a very short amount of time, usually less than 30 days. So, and then we can, work on other things from there. But I thought I would kind of point that out because I think there's, some misconceptions out there, and I thought that might be something you find interesting. So, hope you're having a happy Monday. Take care.